They say that art is typically a reflection of the society we live in. And believe me when I tell you that this recent trailer brought to you by A24 called Materialists is definitely a reflection of the society we live in. This movie stars Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and the one and only Pedro Pascal, who is just about in everything nowadays. And honestly, it's just one of those don't hate the player, hate the game kind of scenarios, because here's the thing, he probably has a really good agent that's getting him a lot of these roles. And I know a lot of people are kind of making fun of him for it because you see him in just about everything. And honestly, I can't even hate the dude. It's just like, he has a good agent. What can I say? But that's neither really here nor there. But what is here is this really ridiculous trailer, or at least the premise of this overall movie that they're trying to go for. And you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, well, what's the big deal? I thought this was just like a simple rom-com, love triangle kind of movie. Oh, well, see, that's where you're wrong, and this is where we're going to have to get a little bit more sophisticated as to what's being conveyed here within this trailer. And what's being conveyed is this overall boss bitch mentality, or the boss babe lifestyle, where a woman has a fake job who makes a lot more money than like construction workers, doctors, lawyers, anything like that. She's getting paid a lot more than your average worker, just like somebody who deserves a lot more money than this stupid bitch right here, who just, you know, apparently she's responsible for a lot of marriages. She says 9 in the trailer, and she's giving, you know, all this advice to these men that are looking for women, or women looking for men. And it's like, here's the reality, folks. A lot of women aren't going to look your way if you're not handsome, or, you know, you don't really have anything going for you. That's just the simple reality. It may suck, but that's what it is. And this trailer is trying to sell you on this like false fantasy, or this false premise that all these things are going to happen, and like you can have like the man of your dreams, or the woman of your dreams, if you just have the right person to set it up. It's like, get the fuck out of here. That's not happening. And obviously, if you're working local jobs for that matter, and you're ugly as shit, the bitch ain't going to come up to you and start making out with you, or, you know, start flirting with you. None of that's going to happen, especially in this today's world where women have all the options in the world and their dad isn't in the home to set them on the right path, or to give them guidance on approaching the right man, or even having the parents involved with like marriages and stuff. This is the world we live in, this like 304 kind of culture. And if you don't know what I mean by 304, just type it in on your calculator and read that backwards, and there's your answer. Or just simply Google it if you don't know how to use a calculator. But all jokes aside, folks, I think the one thing I really want to highlight here in this short video is just this overall premise of the whole boss babe culture, or, you know, trying to empower all these single women. You know, that everybody tries to prop up and say like, oh, you go girl, you get that job, you know, fuck the man, you don't need no man in your life. That's the kind of vibe I get from this trailer. While at the same time, yes, it's showing her going through all these struggles with like herself internally, and she's like, you know, she's in this love triangle because for whatever reason she can't figure out the man she wants to marry, even though there's like literally the perfect guy right there, you know, the server played by Chris Evans. And of course we have the rich guy played by Pedro Pascal, who is like considered like the perfect man for every girl. You know, he makes nearly 6 figures, he has all this shit, he's like, you know, very handsome and whatnot, and all these other guys, you know, that are probably more worthwhile than like this rich asshole, even though I don't think he's probably gonna be an asshole in the movie. But the point being, girls don't actually know what the fuck they want. I think that's the overall premise. Maybe not intentionally, but that's what I get from this. And almost every movie that mirrors this, or even TV shows like Sex and the City that kind of display this sort of lifestyle. And I honestly hate to say it like this, but it's just this overall lifestyle of whoring yourself out because it's popular to do so, and some old hag told you it's cool to do. Just fuck around in your 20s and 30s. Don't actually take the time to actually want to get married and have a family for yourself, or just make anything worthwhile for that matter. Nah, let's just encourage women, or especially young women, to go after this sort of lifestyle where it just amounts to absolutely nothing, and it actually results into a lot of women who start to live this sort of lifestyle, or take on this lifestyle where they get their fake dream job, they get all this money in the world, they're making more than the man, and then later when they start to grow up and they grow old and they have no kids or a husband to live with and, you know, spend the rest of their life with essentially, or have someone to take care of them when they're, you know, about to pass, they start to really reflect on that, and they really start to regret their decisions from their youth, because they thought, you know, everybody told me I should go after this lifestyle, I was encouraged to do so, and when I actually did it, it amounted to nothing. And I'm only pointing this out because I'm actually not trying to be hateful here, especially towards women. In fact, I'm trying to warn women not to go after this sort of lifestyle. It's going to result in absolute nothingness. You're not going to be fulfilled in any way, especially like from a Christian perspective. You will not find any meaning going through after this materialist lifestyle. I know the movie's called Materialists, but with that in mind, this is not This is a lie, essentially, is what I'm saying. This sort of lifestyle is an absolute lie. It is not it's not luxurious in the way you think it is. Maybe on a worldly level or more secular level, it is, but spiritually speaking and the longevity of it, it's not. It's terrible. And you could honestly argue with me that maybe that's what this movie is trying to go for. Maybe that's the overall message. I highly doubt that with the state of Hollywood and their absolute lack of morality or especially Christian or Catholic values. And one of the last things I want to bring up before I bring this video to a close is this one part of the video where you see Dakota Johnson's character start to struggle with her life or whatever, or she's starting to contemplate whether she's actually good at her job or what, if everything was actually meaningful. And this is why I kind of have in the back of my mind that maybe the artist has this intention of showing that this materialist lifestyle isn't actually worthwhile, but at the same time I highly doubt that. But the reason I'm pointing that out is because a lot of writers, and especially creatives or those that direct these sort of projects, they kind of tell on themselves when they start to reflect on these sort of societal commentaries or just cultural events that take place through our day-to-day lives. And I normally bring up this sort of where writers tell on themselves throughout a lot of my videos, because I think a lot of writers deep down, they subconsciously understand that their sort of lifestyle that they want to seek, or this sort of lifestyle that they want to take on based on, maybe their morality or lack of morality, they always seem to tell on themselves because subconsciously they understand what they are doing is wrong, yet they don't have the gumption or the guts to admit that. Because what you see in a lot of modern day Hollywood writing is where they try to prop up these female characters, the ones, who don't need no man and all that shit. They always try to prop them up, but always within the writing, they seem to want to include this overall aspect of her not being able to actually be as perfect as they want the character to be. They like to write these female characters as these badasses that can accomplish anything. They could do it way better than the man ever could. But I think a lot of the times when they write these characters, they try to write these perfect female characters. I think a lot of the times they realize when you write these type of characters, it always goes down to its logical conclusion that you just really can't have it like that. You can't have your cake and eat it. The sort of lifestyle that a lot of these secular women want you to believe is luxurious and fulfilling, they realize deep down that's not the case, and it actually doesn't make sense, because here's the thing, folks, it's not their nature to do so. They cannot do what men can do. They can't be as ambitious. They can't work as hard as the man can, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And I wish we as a society could actually take on this sort of approach that we need to go back to more traditional values where women are not working these 9-to-5 jobs or operating as the corporate boss bitch. We just cannot keep living like this as a society. This is not how society functions, especially within the past thousands of years worth of history. It shouldn't be happening. It sucks that it is. I wish we as a society could popularize the idea of this not happening, or maybe, like I said, going back to traditional values or Christian values. I'm not even trying to say that out of hatred, like I mentioned earlier. This is actually really coming from a place of love. You can consider this love speech, because I actually want what's best for society, and I want us to function as a society in a way that makes sense. But I think that's going to do it for this video, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you agree with most of the points I made, or if you disagree, let me know in the comments below. I know this is typically different from what I normally do. I know I cover a lot of cape shit, or even other movies like action films for that matter, but for something like this, I thought it was just worth pointing out, especially from a societal standpoint or just a cultural standpoint. I think stuff like this is important to highlight. It's important to get this across to the masses, even if people don't watch this video or don't care to. I think it's worth pointing out. And movies like this, they are art. Essentially, they are a reflection of our society, and I want what's best for society. I really do. And I think artistic pieces like this, for better or for worse, really highlight where we are as a society, and I think that much is worth pointing out. And when I honestly saw this trailer, it kind of infuriated me, because that's how things are. It felt too real to me, and I don't really like watching movies or artistic pieces that feel like I'm already living in that world. Here's the thing, folks. The world is as bad as it is. I don't need to be reminded of that all the time. I do like to have some form of escapism and to just simply not feel sick after watching something. But to finally conclude this, I do have a bonus point to make that I noticed in the trailer, or towards the ending of the trailer, and I'm going to go ahead and showcase it here.
I need to meet someone more grown.
I have a really beautiful client. She's 31.
I wasn't really thinking 30s.
So if you guys didn't catch that, basically what they're trying to say here with their little social commentary is that older men that are looking for a wife a lot younger than them, or especially someone in their 20s, a woman in their 20s, they're basically a pedo, because women in their 20s are essentially children, according to old hags who hit the wall, or just any man that wants to find a wife that's young and beautiful and very much fertile to have children, to start a family. Nah, those guys are pedos, because women in their early 20s are literally children. They're underage for these guys. And you see stuff like that all the time on social media. You see all these posts from all these busted women out there who try to make older men who are looking for younger wives out to be some kind of pedo. Or it's just, a lot of the times it's just out of pure jealousy, because like I said earlier regarding these women that hit the wall and they take their anger out on men that look for younger wives, especially those that haven't been ran through by multiple guys. That's what they get jealous of, and they, try to demonize actually both men and women, especially younger women who actually didn't choose to fuck around in their youth and actually wanted to find something more meaningful than themselves. But that's just a little bonus point that I wanted to make, and something I definitely noticed when I watched this trailer, because again, like I said, this stuff is definitely a reflection of our society, or how these people view society as a whole. But I think that's going to do it for this video. So now I'm going to leave it to you guys. What did you think about this girl boss trailer for Materialists? Did you like it? Did you not? Do you agree with the points that I made? Do you disagree? Go ahead and sound off in the comments below. On top of that, make sure to check out my many other videos I have out. You definitely don't want to miss those. And with all that being said, thanks for watching the video again, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.